Are you wanting your HubSpot to work smarter, not harder for you in the sales process? Well, here are 5 deal automations that every sales team will love. Let's dive in. Deal automation number 1, using pipeline rules. So to do this, you're going to go back to the settings area of HubSpot. You're going to go to the deals area from your objects here, and then you're going to click on pipelines. So here we've got our test portal set up and we've got a pipeline with various stages, but you're going to click on pipeline rules. Now, pipeline rules enable you to have very specific things enforced across your deal flow. So this might mean limiting deal creation to specific stages. So someone has to start at the beginning. So in this case, let's say that we have to enforce that they start at the deal registered stage, and we can save that, and that would be enforced. If we want to restrict deals from moving stages, so let's say every deal has to go through a quoting process, we can actually then restrict that every single stage. You actually need to have the contract sent. So you can't skip a stage and drag it to an additional closed one without having gone through the contract sent stage. If you want to restrict deals from moving backwards, you can turn this on and say, you know what? I want to make sure that by the time they get to the contract sent, we can actually not go backwards. Or let's say that if it's pending approval, we can't, and again, retract that. So that would actually then be here. We can limit editing in deal stages. This might be a best practice for moving these to closed one and saying, once you've got a closed one deal, you can't go back and edit that. So we don't actually change anything besides who gets approved to edit those stages. So in this case, you can go back and then see who can approve this or who can change this in this matter. You can have specific users, so maybe only the sales manager or the sales team. Again, you can set those settings here. If you wanted to remove those, it's as simple as just turning it on, turning it off. It does then remove it, so you have to reset it on that second setup. But those pipeline rules are a good deal automation to put to work. Number 2, deal automation set in the deal automation area back in the settings. So this would be in addition to setting up workflows, but in this case, you can see all of these specific stages that happen when you have someone in a deal pipeline. Again, we're working specifically with this partner program pipeline. Let's actually switch so we can see a different layout here. So you'll see that we've got consultation scheduled, held, presentation scheduled. Again, here you can actually set what those automations are. So on this particular case, we've got create a task to schedule the presentation and assign it to, right now it's assigned to no one. Let's say that we were actually going to assign it to, we're going to assign it to the owner of the deal. Fantastic. And then once someone moved a consultation held, we would actually then get a task for that person to automatically schedule the presentation. So this is going to be important on contract sent. Let's say that we actually wanted to do something here, like we wanted to send an internal email. So we could do this. And then in this regard, we're going to send an internal email to the sales team. And so we go here and let's say it's a sales manager. Again, all these options here, and the subject might be contract now sent. And then we want to insert our properties here. So our properties might be deal name. So we insert the deal name here. Has contracts has been sent, owner, and then we would put the owner here. So again, any of those tokens that you might want to include, then we would save this and the automation would be set up so that we have a deal moving to contract sent, and then the contract now sent email gets sent to everybody who's part of the sales team east. So think about what you want to do with these deal automations, and this area would be option number 2. Now, deal automation number 3 is using deal tags to surface very specific information on a deal card that would help be prompted and give you a visual perspective on what's happening on that card. So in this particular case, we've got one that's stalled in stage, we've got a no activity, and then we've got no decision maker. So to manage those tags, you would click on manage deal tags, and it's going to bring you here to the deals and pipelines area. So we've got a lot of other ones here. And to set up a new tag, you would simply click on add tag, and it's going to give you some things that you might actually consider. And then let's say that we want to use overdue. So we can name this overdue, or let's just say you're behind. We're going to make this kind of clever. And our color, choose from your colors here. And then we can only select it to certain pipelines or set it for all pipelines. And then you would choose your filters here. So again, if you didn't want to use this specific deal tag, you could go back and start from scratch. And you can choose what, let's say that we wanted to do one for deal name missing. Or actually, let's do amount missing. And we're going to label it yellow. We're going to do all pipelines, and our filter is going to be the amount. So let's look for deal properties being amount, and we're going to go here. and amount is unknown, wherever that is, and review tag, and we're going to save. So now we've got amount missing, and that would show up on our deal tags. So let's go back and actually look at those deals for how this works. So we're going to go to our CRM. We're going to go to deals, and you'll see that we've got a deal here with 0 amount. And if I look at our tags here, I can actually see that there is an amount missing. So when you think about deal tags, you do want to be, exclusive and not have too many, because otherwise you're only really going to see 1 or 2 here on the card. But that would be another deal automation to put to work. Okay, deal automation number 4. So this is going to be only for enterprise users, but it does come in really handy if you're needing deal approvals inside of your pipeline. So in this case, we're back here on pipeline rules. We're in our pipelines deals area in the settings, and we've got add approval process for deals. So in this case, we do have it turned on. And in this case, we've got, it'll actually take you through this setup editor, and we've got all of this set up already, but we are saying for pending approval, we are wanting this to be an approval stage that someone actually has to approve. So if I go through next, these are the conditions. You can also set, let's say it's a deal that happens to be above a certain amount. You can add all of those things here. And then on add approvers, this is who needs to approve that. So if I'm the one that has the deal and I'm the approver, this will actually then warrant this ineffective. But if Will on my team is creating a deal and then I'm the approver, then it will show up in my portal. So let's actually take a look at what that looks like. This is the final review. And again, we didn't change anything, so we're going to cancel this. So with this being turned on, I'm going to actually go back over to our deals, and let's look at what it looks like to get a deal approval automation set up. So you'll notice now that in this stage, this is where that approval is set, and we've got pending approval. So if I click on details, it'll show me that it's, pending approval. If I click on view approval activity, it will show these things over on the right-hand side as far as who requested it and then who needs to approve it. And then if you click into the deal, that's where you'll actually see the approval up at the top. And so it's going to have you have a bar pop up here, and this will show up for the person. In this case, it's me who needs to make that approval. So in this case, I will say I could approve, I could reject, request changes, and then I can actually look at more details. So that deal automation, deal approval, that is deal automation number 4. All right, deal automation number 5 is creating a clear path for your lost deals to either move back into a marketing position, or if they're unqualified, basically saying we don't want to market to those folks in the future. So in this case, if the deal stage is known and it's actually closed lost. So any of those things, and then if you have a closed lost reason that is unqualified, we then branch on that specific reason. So over on the left-hand side, if unqualified is the reason why they're closed lost, let's say that they are going out of business, or they actually decided to cut that department, or whatever the unqualified reasons that you have standardized is in your company, then we're setting the lead status to unqualified. We're clearing the lifecycle stage because you can't at this point move someone from an opportunity back to another, or to a lead if we don't clear it. So we're going to clear them and then set them as other, so we don't end up marketing to them long term. Now on the right hand side, we've actually got them set to recycle. So we will set the lead status to recycle. We're going to then mark that on the lead status as a contact. We're going to clear the lifecycle stage because we're moving them backwards. And in this case, we're going to set this to lead. So this might vary on your company, but definitely when someone is closed last, having a path for them to move back into your marketing funnel is very important. So this deal automation may actually be helpful in getting those folks back into your marketing campaigns. For more tips, tricks, and how-tos, hit that subscribe button and let us know if there's a video you'd like to see, or if you happen to be at the upcoming Inbound conference, comment below. We'd love to meet up with you while we're there.